Hello, and welcome to the second episode of The Edge Files. I don't know. How do we say it? We want to say it's spooky. With me, as always, are my lovely co-hosts, the beautiful, the talented Trucker Andy.
Hello.
With a fresh haircut.
Yeah. And looking very stylish with his tie also. Yes. And the also lovely and talented Miss Cayley. How are y'all tonight? How are y'all doing?
I am so excited for this episode right now.
Yeah, I was very teased when you were teasing it on Friday.
By the way, before we get too in-depth on this, let's just tell our audience they have to go listen to the Skeptical Robot episode from Friday where y'all were my very special guests and we had just a very unexpectedly fun time learning about the televangelist grift that's going on right now. We'll leave it at that.
I have to say about that episode, it was wonderful. All worth listening to. It's a longer episode than I think usual, but it is well worth it to stick around to the end. That is one of my favorite moments that I have ever gotten to experience on a podcast. Amazing reveal.
And thank you. And I really think it's going to lend itself to a lot of content in the future. Because I started doing some research over the weekend over more, and I found more.
Yeah. I don't want to spoil anything, but that musical number you sent the next day, that was stuck in my head more than
really
visible touch.
I don't think I sent it to Cayley because I was like, I think Andy's going to appreciate this more.
Yeah.
But yes.
Things to look forward to. Very much. So, yeah, everybody make sure go check out Skeptical Robot, especially that last episode. And you have an exciting guest coming up this week, correct, Luigi?
I do. Mr. Carl Hamburger is going to be on Skeptical Robot this Friday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. We will be talking about Bob Lazar. I think he's a fraud. Carl thinks he might be telling the truth. I've got a few things in my pocket to try to convince him to come over to my side of the camp.
And as long as we're talking about exciting things that are coming up, Andy, you just had a very, very awful guest over on All Apologies, I think. You had Tony from Hack the Movies. Blah, gross. Yeah. We hate him over here.
Grody.
Yeah, he's the worst. But he does know an awful lot about Eric July, and we were wrapping up Eric July with a deep dive into ISOM and what's going on over at the Ripaverse, which is a whole lot of nothing. A lot of well-packaged nothing happening at ripaverse.com. So, yeah, look forward to that on Wednesday. Or you can watch Patreon content with Tony, where we covered the guy that went on Surrounded and came out as a fascist Nazi live on the internet and then got fired from his job. So that was a lot of fun to cover.
It's all about choices, and tonight I think that Luigi is going to take us through how it's all about consent and the definition of it. So Luigi, I am hoping that you can kick us off here. We are going to be getting into episode number 2 of The Edge Files. Edge Files. Yes.
And I don't think it's fair for us all to plug something and you not plug something. You just came off of a great episode of Point Dabble Point.
Yes, but fuck Carl. We don't even care about that.
He doesn't need plugs.
I was on with Carl Schuley and Christian Blatt. Who even cares about those jerks?
Who?
It was wonderful, though. Yeah, I know, right?
Kidding.
That's how I feel, too. No, that was wonderful. Everybody go check out Point Dabble Point. Always a good time over there.
Yeah, it was good. Tonight's episode is one that you and I have actually been talking about for a while. This is a incredibly odd. I'm not really sure what the real word is. It's grotesque. It's scary. It's gross. But it's also just incredibly intriguing to peek into the mind of somebody who's a little off. And if anything, I feel like that's really what we do best. But yes, we are going to be telling the story of Mr. Carl Tanzler. I struggled there for a second because we're going to see a name change, and I forget which one is which. Carl Tanzler was an odd guy. It's odd to even kind of say what we want to do to preview what this story is going to get into. But let's just say the guy doesn't let anything get in the way of true love.
That is a beautiful. So what you're saying is that tonight is our debut of our rom-com series. I think that's
yes.
what we're getting into this evening. It is going to be exciting.
If this was a rom-com, I promise I'd be watching it.
Yep. All right. I think
this one's going to get weird, folks.
Yeah.
Let's get into it.
That's the easiest way to say it. All right. I'm going to start out with our first clip here.
Yep. Go ahead.
Born in Dresden, Germany in 1877, Karl Tanzler claims to have descended from aristocratic stock. Fanciful even as a child, in later years he recounted a story of being visited in his youth by a long-dead ancestor.
And from what we know about him, he lived an entirely uneventful childhood. That is, until he turned 12, when, one night, he was visited by one of his ancestors in a dream. This long-dead relative was kind enough to show Carl the face of his one true love, a beautiful foreigner with dark hair. By the time Carl woke up in the morning, he knew that was the woman he would spend the rest of his life with.
Can we pause for just a second? I need to have like a sound effect or something to like ask to stop. I have a bell when I do unboxing.
Oh.
Yeah. How's this work?
That's perfect. I might get distracted by it and forget to actually stop, but I like it.
So this is the introduction to Carl Tanzler. That he claims that as a boy, he was visited by the spirit of an ancestor that he believed was this beautiful, dark-haired woman. But what's interesting is we don't know that this is real. Apparently, he never told this story to anyone until the circumstances of this case actually came to light, and he used it as a defense. So
also, I just want to point out, when you guys have dreams, maybe I should throw this question over to you guys. Let me start it out with, when I have dreams, it's like, okay. I pissed my pants in front of a crowd full of people. I'm never like dreaming about some beautiful, beautiful woman. Have you ever had a dream where you were like, this is my dream girl and I'm totally in love with her and she's amazing? Do you have those dreams? Is that a thing? That
frequently.
Okay. All right. So it's just me.
No,
it's just me pissing my pants over here.
I mean, I have wet dreams, but it's not piss.
But also, is it because you envisioned the love of your life? Is that why you're having a wet dream? Yes. No, it's because you envisioned boobies.
Yeah.
You got me there.
Would that be presented by Carl's long lost relative? That looked like his grandson in the beginning. I think they're related.
No, I've never had a dream like this, and I think this is a peek into the mind of a crazy person. For him to think that this was somehow true, or that this was somehow actually indicative of his fortunes as an adult, that's crazy. But also for him to rely on this as an adult was also crazy. No, I don't have, my dreams literally are very much like yours. I frequently have that that very stereotypical dream where I'm supposed to be giving a speech to people, but I'm not prepared.
Naked in front of a classroom.
Yeah.
It's certainly not a defense for inexcusable actions.
No, not even a little bit.
No, not at all. Not at all. I think one of the weirdest dreams I ever had one time was that I kept trying to talk to someone, and every time I opened my mouth, a tooth fell out, and I was really embarrassed. That was a really weird dream I had once.
I feel like there's like a whole meta science about tooth dreams. I feel like that says something about, I don't know what it is because I don't believe in, astrology or dream science, but I believe that there is something that is associated with the tooth dreams. All right, I'm going to get us back into this package, but while I do that, Andy, will you turn up your mic just a teeny tiny bit for me?
Yes.
Thank you.
Trouble was, he didn't know where to find her.
She gave him a vision of a beautiful, dark-haired woman who she said was his one true love. As a young man, he either forgot the vision, made the whole story up later in life, or decided to settle because in about 1920, he married a different woman.
As a young man, he traveled to India and then onwards to Australia, where he spent a number of years. He developed interests in engineering, electronics. He and his fellow countrymen were placed in camps in Australia, allegedly for their own protection. He was then moved to Trial Bay Jail in New South Wales, where he remained for the rest of the war.
Travelled the world.
Who just moves to Australia? Is another question that I have.
That's a great question, and I don't really know the answer to it, other than he was trying to avoid the war, and apparently Australia was a neutral place to go. But I hear these stories, and there's actually a lot of it that doesn't add up. So we don't really know what's totally true. And again, this is all just to introduce you to this person, because what he does later is completely unrelated to all of this. It just is giving you a little bit of an insight of what we believe his history to be.
Okay, wait. So give me. Maybe you know this, and I just don't. And now I'm going to be fixated on the time frame in the same way that he's fixated on his dream woman. What year did he go to Australia? Because that is interesting. I feel like Australia. I think it was in 1901 that Australia became Australia as we know it today. And I think that he was born in the late 1800s, right?
Yes, it was around 1939 that apparently.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So he's he's relatively old at this point that he's moving over there.
If you consider 40 old, I wouldn't, but you might.
All right, I'm just going to play the package again before I embarrass myself.
No,
He
right
even got married
no,
to
you're
a
right.
woman
You're
named
right.
Doris Shape.
He's in his 50s. He's in his 50s. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I was doing the math. Born in 1877. This is 1939. Somebody out there is good with math.
I believe that in his dream, his dream woman came out of the pouch of a kangaroo. So he decided to
searching
go to
for
Australia because it seemed the most likely place to find that.
The dingo ate his babe.
You know what? I don't think I ever actually thought about this. He's 60. He's 62, roughly around this time. So yes, he is an old man. He's not a 40-year-old young virile man.
It's interesting.
Yeah, it is. But okay, so this is also interesting is that he's married. Okay, he got married. I don't think I have the details on the date he got married, but he had 2 kids. They're in their double digits of age. I do know that. And again, this is all just important to introduce you to. At this point, he is not Carl Tanzler yet. He was born Carl. Hold on, I have his name. Carl von Kosel. Cosel. We're going to learn a little bit about why he changes his name. There's really not a reason.
There's no reason that Germans change their name. That's
to another German name. The only reason he does change his name is that Tanzler apparently had some sort of aristocratic association with it. Not totally certain whether or not that's true, but he claimed it was. But anyway, go ahead.
The couple had 2 children together, but fond as Carl was of his wife, he could never quite shake his disappointment that she wasn't that dark-haired beauty once promised to him in a dream. In 1926, he and his family emigrated to the United States to start a new life in Florida.
Together, more though.
Okay, let's stop it here. Where did they go? And what do we always say? Where does every weird thing happen? Florida.
Florida. Yes, we love it.
Now you asked what got him to go to. All right, I'm being told that my shirt is inducing an epileptic seizure in someone.
I assumed it was related to the story.
It's not. I just found out you could put GIFs as you could program the GIFs into clothing. That's really it. I wanted to take advantage of it.
Pride Month end.
Yeah. How about I go back to Reverend Queefberg? Here we go.
Beautiful.
All right.
An outfit change in the middle of an episode. You're doing better than I've ever done.
Me and Cher. It's me and Cher. That's
I'm
us.
quite impressed.
Okay.
So you were talking about how he was getting to Florida.
So yes,
So
we
what
didn't-
brought him to Florida?
Family. He apparently had a sister who lived in Florida, and he wanted to be closer to his family, and he heard that there were opportunities there. So I'll clarify a little bit more, but just wanted to get that out of the way. Let's learn more.
They immigrated to the US with their children and settled in Zephyr Hills, Florida in 1926. Perhaps realizing he couldn't avoid his fate, by 1927 Carl had left Zephyr Hills, although they didn't divorce, changed his name to Carl von Kozel, and made a new home in Key West, Florida, where he found work as an X-ray technician at the US Marine Hospital. A few years later, in
Again, this is all still a little bit weird to me because this is when retirement age was relatively young.
Yeah.
Why
and
is he working?
here's another thing, and I'm going to tell you nothing about nothing about the history of this guy's life makes sense. But let me just tell you what some of the stuff we do know so far. Now, he claims, the host of this video that I found, Simon Whistler, says that he changed his name from Tanzler to Kozel. I've also heard it the other way around. It was changed from Kozel to Tanzler. So just to let you know, there's a little bit of confusion on this guy's history. But you're right. He should be retiring. But what he does is, if you notice there, we've not heard anything about him being a doctor or having any kind of medical training.
Yeah.
But he suddenly takes on this job at a military hospital, I believe it was, as an X-ray technician. We also find out that he's telling people that he has 9 degrees. He does not even have a single degree. He has basically lost touch with reality at this point and just starts telling people made up stories about himself being associated with aristocracy in Germany, having multiple degrees, and somehow fooling people. It's a lot like John, telling people he has degrees that he doesn't have.
He's beating the odds. People, the life expectancy wasn't even. People died in their 30s back then, right?
Yeah.
People didn't believe germs were real. And also, when you immigrate here, oftentimes doctors with 9 degrees become taxi drivers. So it's not unbelievable to assume that maybe he was accomplished overseas.
But what's interesting, though, is he abandons his family. He apparently just said, I'm going to go grab cigarettes at the store, and just never returned.
Oh, yeah. No man has ever done that ever before. Listen, I've been twice divorced. I know what that's all about. Come on.
And
The most Florida thing he could have done.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. And I think that brings us up to speed. So let's hear about the next phase of his life.
1930, a young, beautiful, dark-haired woman went to the hospital for treatment of a lung condition that was eventually diagnosed as tuberculosis. As X-rays were required, Maria Elena Milagro de Hoyos, also known as Helen, ran into Carl, who was totally awestruck. He claims to have instantly recognized her as the woman of his childhood dream.
Okay, let's pause it there. This is where the story kind of goes off the rails. Enter Maria Elena Milagro de Hoyos. I think I'm saying that right. The Hoyos.
Yes, your Judaism did it very well.
Got it. People just called her Frank. No, I think they called her Elena. She is a local Cuban-American woman brought to the hospital by her mother for an examination. Turns out, yes, she had tuberculosis, which was a death sentence at the time. But Tanzler becomes a little overly interested in her and starts to associate her, allegedly, with the dream that he had as a 12-year-old boy. And in that dream, where his ancestor told him that he was going to meet a beautiful, dark-haired woman. I don't know. Nonsense. Bullshit nonsense, whatever. So Elena is married. However, her husband has recently also gone out for cigarettes and never come back. And so she's a little vulnerable, also very poor. And apparently, Mr. Tanzler has a little bit of money. So let's...
Well, I'm going to pause us for 1 second here
Okay.
because I seem to remember a little bit of a detail here. So I think everybody, when I've heard the story, it's always been Helen, maybe Elena, but Helen is what I've always associated.
It's fine,
Her
whatever.
name being. How old was she, Luigi?
She was... God, how old was she?
The answer is not old.
No, I think she's 27, I believe.
Okay, yeah. So she's 27 and he's 89. Not really, but
He's 64, I think.
Yeah,
so-
he's
around this time. Yeah,
He was
I'm not
dreaming
saying
of,
that
of
that's-
this woman's mother.
grandmother.
yes, exact. But that wasn't the woman from the dream. So
No.
All right.
Let's see. Oh, okay. Oh, hold on. She's 21. She's 21. That's how old she is. Even younger. She's 21 years old.
Now, I, as a woman who likes older men, that's gross.
Is it?
It's not great. And Andy brought up a great point. Here. The life expectancy at this time is almost nothing. So her attraction to Carl is certainly money, and he's gonna die soon. So let me get that money.
She's got tuberculosis.
No. Let me make this clear. I never said she was attracted to him. He is attracted to her.
That is accurate.
Okay. Let's make that clear. She has never, supposedly, even in hindsight and and testimony, there was never any inkling that she ever hinted at that she was attracted to him. He was attracted to her. All right.
This is a good distinction.
Yes, but
For
yes,
reasons
64,
that aren't fully
21.
understood, he left his family at the place where they had originally landed and moved by himself to Key West, where he found work as a radiological technician in a hospital.
He needed a new start, so he pretty much abandoned his family and took a new job as a radiology technician at a hospital in Key West, rebranding himself Count Karl von Kozel. It was in the April of 1930 that the weird stuff started to happen.
It was at this point that he met Elena
All right.
and the visions that he'd experienced as a young man.
I just want to say, I felt like I left that in there for a reason. This is where it gets weird, folks. This is where it's going to get weird. Prepare yourself. If you haven't heard the story before, it's going to get odd. And also, if you have a weak stomach, I've got pictures in here that aren't going to be great. So, here we go.
I cannot wait to puke up my dinner.
And came to fruition. It just so happens that Elena looked exactly like the woman that he'd seen in his visions. The only problem is that Elena was riddled with tuberculosis.
A beautiful foreigner with dark hair. She was the girl from his childhood dream. As far as Carl was concerned, his soulmate had just conveniently stepped into his place of work. And boy, would she...
We got a super chat.
It worked.
Anthony Zenhauser. I can't pull it up. Oh, there you go. Anthony Zenhauser, thank you for the $5. We know a Carl with a much older lady. Hashtag mom wife. Hashtag love jingles.
Listen, Zen, if it wasn't for the fact that I liked you, I would not even a little bit be plugging Comedy at the Carlson September 13th. If you are in the Rochester area, go check out Zen's stand-up evening comedy at Carlson.
And if you can't make that, go watch Letitia on YouTube.
Yes, great point. Great.
And
How do we know that Carl's eyes just aren't failing him? Like he probably got severe glaucoma, and every woman looks like this woman from his vision. It could, this guy can't be trusted.
We're gonna learn.
I mean, she already
can't be
looks like.
trusted.
That is true. No, that is true. He's totally right.
Yeah, she already looks like whatever.
Jennifer Lopez.
She
Go
looks
on.
like Peter Chris, like without the kiss makeup on.
I think she's lovely. You guys are just jerks.
Regret it. Maria Elena Milagro de Hoya, who, for obvious reasons, just went by Elena, was a 21-year-old Cuban.
To give her her full name, Maria Elena Milagro de Hoyos was a Cuban-American woman,
She looks
barely
like
into
Shemp
her
Howard.
20s, who was, by all accounts, extremely attractive.
Ava Raza.
By all accounts, she was extremely attractive. Did you guys not just hear the narration?
I heard.
Extremely attractive.
For
Look at those ankles,
1930s
baby.
For a 1930s.
I was gonna say there was a different standard of beauty back then.
She's got sexier ankles than I've ever had, and I'll tell you
She's
that
a
much.
Rubenesque woman.
She hadn't had an easy life thus far. She'd already separated from a husband who'd cruelly ended their marriage after she suffered a miscarriage. Her family background was fairly poor, and neither she nor her parents had much money in general. There was no way that they'd be able to afford the more expensive treatments that could have prolonged or saved her life. Carl offered to take over not only the cost of the hospital care, but to actually provide the care himself. And it should be noted that although Carl was no doubt an extremely talented and intelligent man who had turned his hand to many skills and trades in his life with great success, he wasn't a medical doctor. Even so, Elena and her family gratefully accepted, and thus began Tanzler's myriad attempts to cure his love of TB.
This is where it's going to get interesting while they have a relationship. We've already established, yes, that she's not attracted to him. He is attracted to her. But pay close attention to this. Well, I guess we're not going to get into too much detail, but he apparently started making inventions that he insisted could cure her tuberculosis, that he would make at home and give them to her and say, drink this or use this or rub this on your body. Nobody really knows exactly what it was because it was just his own little formulas and weirdness.
Dude, I gotta pause you right there because men are always trying to invent things to put inside of me. So I get it. I accept them all. It's wonderful.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Wait, are you telling me women know that? They're up to our. They're totally wise
We
to our
figured out your
schemes.
schemes. Yeah.
I have a special suppository for your tuberculosis. And I have to insert
Listen,
it with my
I'm
dick.
telling you, my semen cures everything.
Good for
I've
your
never
skin.
felt better.
Good for your skin and your tuberculosis.
I'm gonna have a paper written about how it cures tuberculosis. Yes, and so he starts caring more for her than his other quote unquote patients, and starts giving her more attention. And her family starts to actually get concerned because they apparently can also see through his schemes and all of his quackery and medical devices and medical concoctions. But I didn't want to get too deep into it. Here you go. So there you go.
The treatments ranged from the conventional, such as topical ointments and tinctures, all the way through to the bizarre and painful. Carl's obsession
Whatever that
with
means.
Elena grew as he
Oh, baby.
frantically tried any treatment he could dream up, punctuated with displays and declarations of his undying love for her. In his relentless pursuit to both cure and win over the object of his affection, Carl spared no efforts, buying her clothes, offering her strange elixirs to drink, and even attempting the use of blessed or consecrated wine.
Let's stop it there.
I'm in.
So now let's. You're a lady. Let's just imagine you have a doctor and you have a serious medical condition, and suddenly your doctor says, I bought you clothes, Cayley. Look, here are these clothes I bought you. And
How
now,
expensive are they?
now drink this. And you're going to say, that doesn't have a label on it. That's in a jar, in a jelly jar. Just trust me, Cayley. Just drink it.
This is 1930, 1940. Where are we here? What
We
year is
are around, we're around 1931.
this? Listen. In 1931, up until 1975, the doctor's manuals still said that menstrual pain was because of insanity in women. So
Were they proven wrong?
Still true in 2025.
that was a horrible example that I
The
just
jury's
gave there.
still out.
My point is that I was a very dumb woman back in the 1930s. So yes, if my doctor was like, "Hey, babe, let me put this on you. Let me put this in you. And also here's some clothes," I would probably be like, "Neat."
I got to also say I treat most of my ailments with consecrated wine. That's the way I treat everything.
And then Cayley says,
Yes.
"Why don't you treat your male patients this way?" Shut up, Cayley.
Well, I wouldn't know anything about his. They surely had HIPAA laws back then. I wouldn't even know.
I think, honestly, we're gonna run up against a picture here that like all these tuberculosis patients were all kept in one room together, separated by like bunk beds, like
A sheet.
You'll see. It doesn't seem, knowing what we know now about germs, it didn't seem very effective. But yeah, you're right. There's probably a very different tone, a very different environment. But I guess by today's standards, if your doctor was saying, "I bought you clothes and I had a priest bless this holy water, drink it," that would raise a couple of red flags here and there.
I don't know. I still think I would happily accept them. I like clothes. I'm easily bought, is what I'm trying to say. I see another super chat. Hopefully, one of you guys can read this. Maybe Luigi, you can read it.
Thank you, Dang Lizard. Whenever he sends me money on my show, I call that the croissant dollars because it looks like a little croissant.
Yes.
It's €2, I believe.
Yes.
You're saying this relationship was not to be? Ha! Hacka hacka.
Ba-boom. I don't know.
Good
to
one.
me, it sounds like it's great so far. She's getting clothes. Everybody's happy.
And she hasn't had to blow anybody yet.
I
Yeah.
don't even know what that's like.
Again, different standards.
Paul firmly believed in the unstoppable nature of fate. Even though all of his attempts at romance was rebuffed, he continued his efforts, believing that eventually he would win out. After all, when a vision from your childhood has guided your life up to this point, there's nothing that can really stand in your way. As her prognosis worsened and the illness ravaged her body, he brought medical equipment to her home. He attached electrodes to...
Yeah. Now we're making house calls and bringing electrical equipment. I'm going to guess stolen. I don't know that that's ever really established, but yes, he's bringing medical equipment to your home to give you personal treatment. Okay. Again, just painting the picture here for what we're about to learn.
I'm going to also, I feel like, again, the whole point of
How
the
is it
story...
that the woman is defending this guy? How's that possible?
Well, I was about to not say positive things.
Okay. All
I
right.
think that the baseline of this story is consent. And so I think that we are about to get into that quite a bit more. It's an interesting way to look at this case, but I think it's the correct way. So as Luigi continues imploring you to think about this case in different ways, I just want you to keep running the word consent through your mind.
Well, I agree with you to an extent, and there's going to
I
be
agree with me in a funny way.
there's going to be a very distinct line where consent isn't really the focus of the conversation anymore. But I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying, and
I mean,
and a comfort
consent
level
is relative,
of consent.
Luigi.
Yeah, but what? You know what? Let's leave it at that.
I'm right. We're just going to go ahead and say I'm right. And if you don't know what I'm talking about yet, you will see soon.
And
Yep.
attempted electroshock therapy. This was a painful treatment that hadn't been used before or since to cure TB. Because it couldn't
Electroshock
cure TB.
therapy.
He even utilized an X-ray machine that he believed would charge her oxygen atoms and save her life. The whole time he showered her not only with medical care, but money, presents, and extravagant shows of affection, but they were entirely unrequited. He wasn't in the slightest bit put out or slowed down by his paramour's lack of interest in him, and
She
he
wouldn't
just
put out.
kept it up. Gloves, dresses, flowers, perfumes.
Hell
The
yeah.
list of gifts were as long as the list of treatments she was receiving.
Can you have sex with a person that has tuberculosis?
Sure.
You can have sex with anything.
Well, I mean, is it advisable?
I don't know. I mean,
It's easily.
Holiday was getting laid in Tombstone.
Oh, that's true. How many
And-
prostitutes did he infect with tuberculosis?
But I mean, electroshock therapy. At this point, leeches and hand drills and car batteries apparently are medical equipment. So.
He was, and I love. Let's save our medical opinions because we're going to learn something about him that's a little off. But it is interesting that he had a theory behind his methods. Like, he was apparently explaining everything he did, and he said he wanted to charge her ion or her atoms, which is just, I mean, I don't know if that's a real medical procedure, and maybe he turned her into an Avenger with superpowers. But I don't even think that was a medically acceptable practice or believable practice. I think he's making this up. But now, again, let's take it a step further. Cayley, you are in a hospital and your doctor starts giving you money.
Yes.
Red flags yet?
No, that sounds wonderful. I live in America. That would be the best day of my life. Are you kidding me?
It's the only thing she agrees with on this. But you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, Luigi.
You know what? You're right.
Yes, Andy, yes,
You're right. You're right. And I guess there's less of a chance of getting tuberculosis just as long as you're not face to face.
For the love of a 21-year-old.
Maybe Carl Tanzler's dick is the cure for tuberculosis. You don't know unless you try.
Yeah.
We'll never know.
Unfortunately, none of the treatments seemed to work. Tragically for her family and for Carl, Elena succumbed to her illness and died in 1931. Carl Tanzler was heartbroken and he offered to pay for her funeral arrangements, which her family agreed to again. Tanzler paid to have Elena embalmed and entombed in a mausoleum that was grand in construction and extremely costly.
So now let's just add this to the list. Your doctor has been giving you sacrament, experimental treatment, dresses, money, and now tells your family, let me pay for the funeral services. Okay.
He's my hero.
This is medical treatment in America, folks. Well, all of that was not lost on her family.
Yeah, that's the biggest red flag. They're not charging you for everything.
Yes, exactly. So her family starts to kind of get the creeps from this guy. I just want to make that clear. So, all right, there you go. Go ahead.
A true testament to her memory, a resting place that only he held the key to.
Now, is that
it became
weird?
widely known in the community that Carl was visiting the tomb daily, sitting outside and speaking softly to her as if she was still there, leaving small gifts. He was even said to have had a telephone installed inside the tomb. Supposedly it was to allow him to call her whilst he was away.
Okay, let's stop it there. He has a telephone installed where he answers and says, "Hello, Elena. Are you there?" I like to think of it like those old ones that had the spinning nozzle where you'd be like, Kentucky 427, please.
Oh, yeah. I thought it was like a rotary phone, but the thing that you spin is a Ouija
yes.
board,
So now he is paid. He's given her money, paid for her own mausoleum, to which he is the only guy that has the key. Like that right there is just, I don't even need any of the other red flags. He's the only one that has the key and installed a phone. Huh.
This is where it loses me. I was in for the
this is where
the money and the excitement, but he's the only one with the key to the mausoleum.
Yeah. Well, let's see where this story goes.
Continued in this manner for around 2 years. Slowly, locals began to notice a number of strange changes in Carl's behavior. He was seen buying perfumes and ointments despite his wife having been long gone. He was buying women's clothes. Some children even swore that they'd seen him slow dancing in his living room with a life-size mannequin of some sort. These strange rumours and speculations eventually reached Elena's sister. She thought it...
So, Witnesses see him buying large amounts of perfume, women's clothes,
Okay, good.
and he is seen dancing with what looks like a woman in his home, but no one has seen a woman come or go from his house.
He's a romantic.
Have you ever seen Home Alone when he's having the party and he's dancing with the fat head of Michael Jordan? This is completely normal.
With the rope system and the train dancing around the Christmas tree. And then, yes, Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern say, let's get out of here.
Yeah.
That's what he was doing.
If he was warding off burglars, obviously.
Obviously.
Was odd enough
boy.
to merit visiting the man who had become infatuated with her sister prior to her death.
So the
When she
sister
knocked
gets
on his
word.
door, he let her in without.
The sister gets word of all this. I just wanted to just repeat what was happening there. The sister gets word and says, I'm going to go pay this guy a visit because the sister went to the mausoleum to go visit her sister, and apparently the door got left open and she walked inside and there was nothing there.
Maybe she survived.
I mean-
that's why they put those bells in the coffins.
She's a vampire.
That's why he put the phone in there, actually. What do you even keep in a mausoleum anyway? Like, that should just be empty, right? That's
Every time I see a mausoleum in a movie, it's because it's where people hide guns or money. Yeah. So
Hesitation.
here we go.
He took her to the bedroom and showed her Elena lying on the bed. She was fully clothed and adorned with jewelry.
Now, I'm going to just warn everybody, I really prolonged putting up any pictures here, but we have pictures of what was found there. But I'm letting you know, I'm putting it off. This is your chance. Here we go.
No, it's not your chance. Stay here
According
with
to
me.
Carl himself, Eleanor's spirit had appeared to him and asked to be taken back to his house. Not one to take the words of the dead lightly, as we've already seen.
Who would?
One night in April 1933, Carl removed Eleanor's body from its resting place and brought it home with him. He'd been told he'd marry this woman, and he wasn't going to let a silly little thing like death stand in his way. There were, of course, a few logistical issues with Carl's new relationship status. Eleanor had been dead for 18 months. In an effort to stem the decay, Carl built a makeshift lab in his house, and then he got to work.
We got another super
He
chat
stayed-
here.
And it's the perfect one for right now, if I can read from that afar, but I will have one of you guys. Luigi, you want to read that for
Anthony
me?
Zenhauser, thank you for the $5. That's how you treat a woman. Unalive her, then don't share her. Hey,
I'll tell
there's
you
a lot
what,
to learn here.
I don't want to share.
Zen
Oh,
knows how to treat a woman, is what I am learning right now.
All right, here we
And
go.
good
Oh, got another one.
interruption Before, oh, look at this. Here we go.
There you go. Rumple Trenchcoat, a Columbo podcast. Thank you for the $5. Brother Trenchcoat, as we called him on Friday. At least he got the corpse's consent.
That's all I'm saying, is that this is a story about consent, baby.
Let's keep going.
Stabilised the body's shape with coat hangers and wires, and stuffed the torso with rags to fill things out a little. He applied mortician's wax to the face and fashioned a wig out of what remained of her hair. He even replaced her eyes with glass orbs. Tanzler disinfected the body regularly, and that, along with liberal use of strong perfumes, went some way towards masking his new bride's unfortunate odour.
Police were called to the house, and when they examined this effigy, they found that it was actually the mummified body of Elena.
Here we go, folks.
Tanzler said that Elena had come to him in a vision. She was singing her favourite song in Spanish and requesting
just
to be
give it
released
away.
from her tomb, and so he obliged. Under the cover of night, he went to the mausoleum and carried her body back to his home.
This is what they found, folks. This was Elena's body strung together with coat hangers, something called mortician's wax, and he literally recreated her body, stuffed her body with rags.
Yeah, don't forget the dirty rags.
Dirty rags, put glass or marbles in her eye sockets, created a wig for her that supposedly was had part of her actual hair. Because when she died, her family gave him some of her hair. I don't know why. It seems like an odd thing to do. But this is what they found. Now, this is just one picture. We're going to show.
Crazy broads are always on the rag. I'm learning from it.
And
Shut up, Andy.
He had to soak her with large amounts of perfume because you're never going to believe this. Her pussy smelled.
That was the only thing. Butthole smelled great.
We got another.
See,
We got another
it
super
was
chat
something
here.
else. All right, what do we got here? Hang on.
It says from Tex Hula, thank you for the $5. Cayley, I want to send you an underrated 80s movie. How can I do that?
You can absolutely send that over to my email, which is onceoverwithcayley, Cayley @gmail.com, or on Twitter also, although I'm going to be honest right now, I really suck at checking Twitter messages. So email is the correct answer. Onceoverwithcayley, Cayley @gmail.com. And thank you for the $5. And I can't wait. I love 80s movies. They're like my favorite 70s and 80s movies right now. Those are my jams.
Same here. Same here.
It looks
All right.
like, Harlan Williams.
Harlan Williams.
She does look like Harlan Williams.
I'm a big Harlan Williams fan.
Holy shit, she looks exactly like Harlan Williams.
That is funny. Sir, can you please close your legs?
Why? Harlan Williams, my favorite always is. It goes pop, 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 pop from Half Baked. Oh God, it's so good.
Butternuts.
Oh, you didn't find your dream woman? You will. You will.
Yeah.
I'm somebody's bitch.
I think that this is an interesting still image, though, because to me, this does look like a lot of the death masks at the time. So I understand that to us right now, we're like, oh, that looks like Harlan Williams. But in actuality, I feel like the beauty standards were different. I understand this is dead corpse.
I think she looks better than she did when she was
No. What you don't understand is this is not actually her face. Right. This is molded wax that he made to look like her face. Her skeleton is underneath, and we are going to see that here in just a second. But yes, this is the
death mask format of what we were enjoying, and this is something that everybody was doing in this time period, was creating these death masks. So it makes sense to me that somebody would be enjoying this, not to the extent that he was, but you know. All right,
and what I find
saying things about how I think that this corpse is hot.
What I find a little odd here is you see she's wearing a robe to hide her,
convenient,
her dignity.
Yes.
Hiding her shame.
Yes.
So,
amen.
Hey, baby, nice robe.
I'm
Sorry,
a little.
move my hair out of the way.
It'll look a lot better on my bed, my mausoleum floor.
I'm a little curious as to what extent this wax was made. Did he give her breasts? Did he give her a fully formed vagina with the wax? Like, I'm curious. We're gonna see pictures that kind of skip over that, but I want to know.
You're a creep for wondering that.
No, I don't think I am.
American pieing her wax vagina is what you're trying to tell me.
I'm not the one. Let's just keep playing the video. I'm not the one who came up with that.
Following 7 years, he lived with her body in his house. Carl had worked hard to counteract the effects of the body's natural decay and tried to maintain the appearance of his one true love. He'd used wax and plaster of Paris to approximate her facial features. Her rotting eyeballs had been scooped out and replaced with glass ones. The chest cavity had been filled with rags to maintain the shape of her body.
That's a real picture of her face where they pulled up the rag and wax to what was literally underneath, and you see the jawbone there, and they're pulling out the glass eyes.
They pulled out, those wax lips that you used to be able to get? That was jammed in her vagina.
I was just going to say, and how many times have you banged those, Andy? I don't want to know the answer to that question. I'm just asking it.
Hey, you know what? Andy's not far off. We're going to learn.
chest cavity had been filled with rags to maintain the shape of her body. Over time, her hair had fallen out and had been replaced with a wig.
There you go.
The wig contained some
That's
of her
really
actual
what
hair.
that's what was underneath that robe, but we could see that it's already been a little taken apart. So, oof. So this
Her
guy
mother
was
had
dancing with this, and from what I hear, he although he's not a reliable narrator, he would apparently also pick it up and sit it down in a chair when it was time to eat, and he would eat in front of her, and
He would beat her at checkers.
That is the most sexist thing that I've ever heard in my entire life. She was obviously winning.
he introduced her to the wheel and stick game.
Yeah.
But she was like, I'm going to sit this one out because
Dan, you suck at Uno, babe.
of the lack of the legs. Yeah, and what I do find funny though is he obviously took a lot of care and a lot of precision to the face, but then she had these little twiggy arms.
It looks like in Evil Dead 2 when his
Oh yes,
It does.
the headless woman.
Yeah.
Ugh. All right, now folks, if this hasn't gotten weird yet, it's gonna get weirder.
weirder.
Decided to call after her passing. Her bones were secured together with wire to ensure the structural integrity of her skeleton.
When he banged it.
He slept with her in what he referred to as their marital beds. He played her songs on his beloved organ. He danced with her and sang to her.
Organ.
When he first brought her home from the mausoleum,
Listen to
he
this.
put her in a makeshift laboratory which was in the shape of an aeroplane, and he called this Elena's airship.
All right, let's stop it
It
for
was-
a second. He, in his backyard, was building they're calling it an airplane. Sorry. They're calling it an airplane. He was building what he believed was a rocket ship to go to outer space.
Yeah.
I'm
It
not
looks like-
kidding. I'm not kidding.
Something Diddy. It looks like a giant bottle of baby oil. Like Diddy
Yes.
filled this.
Those wheels are actually kiddie pools. Do you remember the episode of The Simpsons when they go to Itchy and Scratchy Land, and and Marge says, "You see all those wires in there, Homer? That's why your robots never work."
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is
Make a
essentially what's happening
Spaceship
here.
Out of wood.
So he really, I'm telling you, this guy lost his mind at some point and believed that he could create a rocket ship that was going to take her to outer space, where the radiation from entering outer space was going to bring her back to life.
Oh. Well, if they'd done it sooner, it might have been like chemo and killed her tuberculosis.
And
Waited too long.
who would want an organless, scrawny skeleton walking around?
It would bring back her arms. We all know it.
Yeah. Now she won't
It is
shut up.
sincere belief that he would eventually use this airship to fly Elena's remains so high into the stratosphere that the radiation from outer space would penetrate her tissues and restore life to her body.
Speaking of
Now,
penetrating
I know what
tissues,
some of you
here we go.
Oh no.
are probably wondering. They shared a bed together. How far did this marriage actually go? There doesn't seem to be any explicit mention that there was a sexual aspect
All right,
between
let's stop it
Carl
real quick.
and the
I
remains of...
just want to make it clear, because I got accused of having a dirty mind. I didn't think of this theory. Here we go.
This looks like a Halloween costume of, you know.
I still think your Harlan Williams reference
Yeah,
is
it's-
100% the best.
That's a pretty good Harlan
That's
Williams.
spot on. This
It's
is
a-
this
it's
is
a
if
Harlan-
Harlan Williams was a sex doll, like a blow up doll.
Yeah.
That's this.
Yeah, and
100%.
he's wearing a smock with a picture of himself on it. Like, for Halloween. Yeah.
I have the
I
Harlan
like it.
Williams fleshlight.
And that's the last time that we ever heard from Luigi. Yeah.
Elena de Hoyos. There's nothing in the autopsy or the reports on the matter that mention or even hint at anything of that nature, but we could probably assume that something that scandalous and outrageous might not have been front and centre in any documents from that period. However, they did find something unusual. Amongst the adornments that he placed on her remains and the various techniques that he utilised to try and preserve her body, there's one particular item that surely raised a few eyebrows.
Baby
a
oil.
tube that has been inserted into her private area. Now, it is entirely possible that there was absolutely no sexual aspect to this, but it's...
It absolutely is not entirely possible. That is the least. Who the fuck is narrating this? Because that person is an idiot.
There's a chance he didn't fuck it.
I understand that we all say allegedly during things, but this bitch got fucked. Like, that's.
So there was a tube.
I mean, allegedly.
Yeah, I mean, it's just where I stick the rags to fill out her body cavity. It's not for fucking.
It's not for my pee-pee. It's just for the rags, obviously. I'm sorry, Luigi. You were gonna say professional things. I was distracted by that.
No, yeah, there was a tube inserted into her undernethers, and yeah, so we can't.
Does she have an OnlyFans account?
We can't say with certainty that he fucked it, but I'm with Cayley on this one. I think we're all adults here and we can all draw our own conclusions. Yeah. So again, when we talked about consent earlier, I'm like, well, this can't consent anymore. I mean,
no, that's the point.
I wish it could.
Listen. That's why it's so interesting.
You got to wear this on the neck for every episode going forward, Cayley. This is your
he thinks
wardrobe
that she
for next
can
week.
consent. That's what's so crazy about this, is that this to him is a relation. Like, I understand that we're talking about tubes in the hoo-ha, but like that's what he believes in this situation, is that this is his love, this is his dream, this is everything that happened to him, and so to him, this is his partner.
Yeah,
it's a story of consent. It's just the most fucked up consent story that has ever existed on the face of the planet.
I want a woman that looks like makeup Sharpie and just took her hat off after playing 9 innings softball. What a looker.
Tube maintenance is a very low cost, a very small price to pay.
Tube maintenance. Good God.
I mean, I assume you have to clean it out. I wouldn't know.
I'm going to play the video again after that
Difficult
one.
to think of any other purpose that tube would serve.
While some researchers claim that a paper tube had been inserted into dead Helen's vaginal cavity, others claim that, as this evidence was only revealed in 1972, it was not credible. Even if true, this doesn't say one way or the other whether he had...
So, we don't know for certain that there was a tube inserted, but apparently it was there was enough evidence to be a significant rumor.
It's just an educated assumption that probably happened.
Yeah.
I always feel like, like when they find like the Egyptians, like the ancient Egyptians, and they like uncover a tomb and they're like, yeah, tomb, and like nothing sexual happened. I feel like that's like the situation. I know that that's not where the story is necessarily going to go, but I feel like, whatever person found her body is like, no, there was no tube. There was definitely no tube. I definitely didn't put my own penis into the tube. There was no tube. You can clearly see that there's no tube in her right now, right? Like That's how I feel like there's the story of maybe there was no tube.
You think that maybe like the group of police investigators that showed up all kind of took a turn and they all fucked it?
Yes. Do you not think that that's what happened to the tube?
I don't know that I would be tempted to fuck a dead body with a tube in it, but I'm not going to put it past anyway.
Cops are all bastards. This is...
That not occurred to us, dude.
I'm very sex positive, but fucking dead bodies, I don't know.
All right.
Not my thing.
Intercourse with the corpse, a paper tube being presumably uncomfortable.
To the surprise of no one, Carl Tanzler was arrested. The charge was wantonly and maliciously destroying a grave and removing a body without authorization. Given the relatively short statute of limitation,
Can you see the thing?
Badass.
Can you see the thing I'm sharing?
No.
I hate you so much right now. We're fighting. You're lucky that I literally did not have my glasses on and could only sort of see. I was like, oh, he's showing us another picture so that we can get a better look. No, it's just
I
me.
am.
It's me as Harlan Williams. I feel cross-eyed somehow. I'm going to guess that this is Gummy Chainsaw's doing. Am I correct about that?
Yes, it was all him. He did
God
it.
damn you, Gummy Chainsaw. I
was
thought we
him.
were friends. I'm lying. It's beautiful. I've
I
never
did
looked better. Quite
I did
literally.
it.
There's 15 tubes in me.
He looks the way I feel.
the charge was wantonly and maliciously destroying a grave and removing a body without authorization. Given the relatively short
Do you think
statute of
fucking a dead
limitations-
body was like written in a law book somewhere?
Yes. There are absolutely
At the time.
laws
At the
against
time. I know there are.
necrophilia. Yeah.
I know there
no,
are now, but
absolutely.
at the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
They
well,
still
all
thought that menstrual cycles were due to hysteria, but they knew that necrophilia was not great because you could die from that shit.
They're already
That
dead.
was-
Oh, that's the only reason.
that would normally apply to these cases. These
Can you
charges
get a
were eventually
disease from a
dropped
dead
and he
body?
was set
Like a-
free.
Yes.
I mean,
Elaine
like
has remained for-
You can die
in your
from
in your
fucking it.
giblets.
You can die from eating it. Yes, 110%. You can die from necrophilia and you can die from eating human flesh. It's cannibalism 101, baby. Don't do it. No.
I mean, eating.
bodies.
Yes, I get it.
No,
Well, I mean, like
sex too.
if I put my giblets into a dead body, you're saying like I could get an infection?
Yes.
Ew, I didn't know that. You learn something
put-
new every day.
Yeah,
Talking
okay.
about.
Reburied in a secret and unmarked location, but not before she'd been thoroughly examined by pathologists and then displayed at a funeral home for thousands of people to come and gawk at.
So people just
The case
lined
received a
up
lot
and
of
looked
press
at her like
coverage
a.
at the time, mainly
like
due
a
to
freak
its
show.
truly bizarre nature. It seems that the general perception of the public tended to lean more towards sympathy than outright disgust. The masses were understandably shocked, but as more details emerged about the effort and care that he put into maintaining her remains, it led some people to view him as a sort of romantic figure.
So what they're saying there is that he actually gets fans.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
his PR machine is wow. This guy really loved this woman.
Yeah. And, I mean, this is why like church and parades and sock hops were still a thing. It's like after we're done waiting for the mail, we're gonna go down and throw rotten tomatoes at Carl's wife. There's nothing better to do.
So yeah, it's just it's weird. And again, I'm gonna guess that fucking the dead body was not out in on the cover page of the newspapers. So people just really thought, wow, this guy just loved this woman so much he didn't want to live without her, without realizing, again, he was 64, she was 21. It was a complete odd, mentally deranged obsession. And if I have fucked a dead body, should I get a test?
Yes, but also now that this is happening where they're just putting on full display, I'm starting to second guess my like laughing in Cayley's face when she said that the cops were banging it. They were probably like blindfolding each other and playing like putting the tail on the donkey, like the games with the corpse in the mausoleum or something.
I'm right.
Out of boredom.
Atomic sit-ups, but they're holding
If
a
you
dead
don't
body.
think- If you don't think that the gang mentality of authority figures is fucked up and that all of them wouldn't see a tube in a situation like this and somebody wouldn't have gone, hey, I wonder, and then other guys would have been like, yeah, I kind of wonder too. Like, that's
You guys are
possible.
underestimating the smell
Listen,
of this place.
Yeah, no joke. It's putrid and gross, and it smells like roadkill. But a condom.
There was so much.
Yeah, well-
you don't need a condom for this. Have you ever seen the movie Dead Girl? Because that's
No.
basically what happens in that movie.
Have you ever seen the movie Necromantic?
Great, I have, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of here. Actually, we got another super chat. Okay.
I feel supported right now. I think I can read this one. This is from DeWired Christian. Hello, $2. Has Florida ever been a classy dwelling?
No.
Sheesh, no. This is the perfect Florida man story.
The first Florida man story, I would argue.
Somebody's superimposed Chad Zumach into one of these photos.
But fucking the dead body, eating its pussy. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I've actually never been more attracted to Chad than right now.
Yeah. Chad Zumach going down on the carcass of a Thanksgiving turkey.
I love that stuffing.
He put into maintaining her remains. It led some people to view him as a sort of romantic figure. Clearly a disturbed and extremely misguided one, but a romantic nonetheless. Following the Elena affair, Carl Tanzler moved back, settling near to where he'd originally left his wife and family years before. He wrote down the story of his life, and it was published in a book that received a substantial amount of interest.
Let's stop it there. Was his one true love.
Okay.
So he moves back in with the wife. The wife that he abandoned takes him back. And I'm going to guess this is a caretaker situation where he has been just, told he's mentally ill. But the weird thing was that in that trial, he was declared competent and, or I guess, what's the word? Sane and competent to stand trial. The only reason he got off was because there's apparently a statute of limitations on digging up a dead body that had passed. And
how did that conversation go when he goes back to her? Your side piece start giving you the silent treatment? You came crawling back.
Oh, you thought you were going to find a woman who wasn't going to talk, huh?
You thought her tube was tight. Let me show you mine, baby. Awful. Absolutely awful. We have to say an extra special thank you, though.
My goodness.
I see this. Mike's shitty internet provider, the absolutely incredible, has just gifted $50.
Thank you.
Thank you so very much. And I can see about half of those.
Cayley, why are you glowing so hard? When they get flush in the chest, that's how you know that they're turned on.
There's like 15 tubes inside me right now. It's beautiful.
Kaylee, let me buy you
you
dresses and tinctures and sacred wine and pay for your funeral.
Baby. Let's go.
Thank you, Mike, shitty internet provider. Glad to hear you're not dead.
I need a mausoleum right now.
As a young man, he either forgot the vision, made the whole story up later in life, or decided to settle because in about 1920, he married a different woman.
As a young man, he traveled to India.
Did we... Hold on. Did we get... Did we skip backward?
Oh, maybe. I'm very bad at internets.
There you go. I think that's good. There you go.
There. The children. I remember the children.
Following the Elena affair, Carl Tanzler moved back, settling near to where he'd originally left his wife and family years before. He wrote down the story of his life, and it was published in a book that received a substantial amount of interest.
He writes an autobiography.
Despite all the trouble it brought him, Tanzler could never quite get over the memory of his one true love. He couldn't let her fade into obscurity. He eventually constructed what he described as an effigy of her with the face cast from her death mask. There are some accounts that say when he finally passed away in 1952 at the age of 75, he died in the arms of his Elena effigy.
So to your point about the death mask, apparently he also had a death mask, and it's very open to say that this could have just been urban legend, but supposedly when he died, he was believed
coddling
to be holding it. So I feel like you've made your opinion on this whole situation pretty clear, but let's just say someone was obsessed about you this way. Do you think you would find
hate it?
Okay.
I will say this though right now. I'll be the first to admit I'm completely in love with River Phoenix, who died many and many a year ago. And I will tell you this right now, that I tried to make a documentary about me going to try to find his bones in order to fuck them, because that's how in love I was with him. So do I think that any of this is that weird? Not really. I'm kind of fucked up in the head, though. It turned out he was cremated, so I couldn't do it.
Tune in next month for that episode.
Yeah, this was all in an effort to justify your crazy actions about trying to put tubes inside of River Phoenix's cock.
No, I would just give me an arm bone. I'm good. That sounds good. I don't know, maybe a thigh. Maybe that's better. I don't know. Depends on my mood. Depends on how many tubes I got in there in the meantime. All right, let's pretend like I didn't say any of those words, and I'm not going to be. And now that's why I'm flushed.
You're under arrest.
Shitty internet provider.
Say that he'd fallen behind one of his many organs. So who really knows?
She did her research about fucking dead bodies. That's why she knew so
Even
much.
now.
Listen, I just tried one time. It was just a one-time thing that I thought I was going to go on an adventure. I thought it would be a funny documentary. Leave me alone.
There's still interest in Carl Tanzler's story and the extremes that he went to in order to preserve his one true love. When he first brought her home from the mausoleum, he'd put her in a makeshift laboratory which was in the shape of an aeroplane, and he called this Elena's airship. It was his sincere belief that he would eventually use this airship to fly Elena's remains so high into the stratosphere that the radiation from outer space would penetrate her tissues and restore life to her body. 7 years of preserving a corpse, slaving away for hours to replace the pieces that became detached or rotted away, endlessly planning and always believing, certain that he could knock down that final barrier between life and death and be with the woman that was destined for him.
Now, I don't know if that picture is real. I don't know if that picture is real of him holding the picture of her. Something about it looks a little phony.
Yeah, that looked
yeah,
done
but
up.
But regardless, it makes a good thumbnail. But I don't know if that picture is real, and I don't want to give the impression that I believe that it's real.
He died doing what he loved.
Elena.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you have it, folks. That's a weird one. And that's a story that I just like telling because I've met crazy people in my life, and I've met mentally ill people in my life.
I feel very seen right now.
Podcast with them. Yeah.
And that story just blows my mind that anyone could be that sick. And what's always crazy to me is when someone is so sick in the head, but still knows enough to try to be normal. That is the scariest part for me. Someone like, like your Jeffrey Dahmers or your Ted Bundys, the person who like really has sick things that they do, but they can't allow the world. It's almost more comforting to know that someone does something like that and is, eating their own feces at their place of employment in front of their boss, because you just think, oh, that's how that goes in line with what they're doing. But when they can make that distinction of this is weird, I know it, and I can't let can't let the world know that I'm doing this. That's the shit that scares me to death.
But it's that, and it's also polite society just giving these lunatics the benefit of the doubt, and just how long did this go on before somebody finally had to step in and really, until the sister or whatever.
7 years.
Exactly.
7
And his
years.
wife took him back.
Man, that's what he should have been thankful for. The woman in his life who said, wait, what's that, officer? He did what?
Jesus.
Well, let me bring him back home and get his mind right.
Cayley, how far did you make it towards California before you turned around and went home?
Shh.
I want to know the story.
I was very young.
Yeah. How old were you?
Young enough that it was a much more inappropriate story. I was probably 17 when I decided that I was going to do that.
She has River Phoenix's foot.
Whatever. How old was he when he died? He was
23. He was 23 when he died. He was 23 when he died in 1998 at the Viper Room, co-owned by Johnny Depp.
I thought it was 93.
Oh, you're totally right. I said 98. You're 100% correct. It was Samantha Mathis. That bitch was there. I'm pretty confident that she's the reason that he died. I'm not confident about that. Sometimes I blame Rob Reiner. You shouldn't get me off on this tangent right now.
I believe Johnny Depp was with him that night, right?
No, Johnny Depp was not there that evening. Johnny Depp was not there that evening.
What, you blame Rob Reiner because of Stand By Me? What? Because he had A-list celebrity money to buy.
He made him
heroin?
smoke cigarettes on the set of Stand By Me.
Well,
so
it's a gateway drug.
Oh, let me tell you, there's a more direct. I think there's a more direct explanation that's realistic, actually.
Why are you guys making me talk about my dumb youthful exuberance?
Because it's amazing.
Early, and this is interesting.
But
I also want you to talk about your Rob Zombie shitting on Rob Zombie. I want to hear that.
Yeah, there's much more to that story too.
Yeah, we'll talk.
I'll tell you off the air.
Yeah,
I would propose there's actually a very logical, reasonable, direct link to his death from Saved by Me or Stand by Me. But he met Corey Feldman, who was a heroin addict.
They never did drugs together.
That's what they say. They all say that.
You cannot convince me. No. They also said that Elena's vagina had a tube in it. Blah, blah, blah. Crazy times. Insane. Blah, blah. No,
that's believable.
You're right. It's more likely that it's Rob Reiner's meathead's fault.
It's all Rob Reiner's
meathead's fault.
Listen, I had a very big crush on him, and I thought that he was interesting, and I thought that it would be. Don't you guys love one of the things that I think makes Edge Files so exciting for all of us? One of the reasons that we've come together to create this show is that we are excited about the kind of dark, the kind of disgusting, the really interesting, the crazy stories, and what drives obsession. And I think that really is the bottom line, the baseline of many of these. Well, in my case, it's penis because it was River Phoenix, but I think that we all get obsessed with these things. And so when I was younger and I had this giant crush on River Phoenix, I was like, wouldn't that be an interesting story just to tell about why my obsession for him is so deep? And if I ever find his bones to fuck, will that be interesting? Yes. But if I don't, will that also be kind of an interesting story and a deep dive into what personal obsession looks like without me having to go fuck a corpse in a mausoleum and dance with it in my house? And I mean, I realized that I was kind of leading there. God damn it, I'm not helping this cause at all.
Next episode of Edge Files.
Talking about obsession. I do think that is what I think that's one of the most interesting things that happens in the world. So I wanted to do some self-exploration of that. And that was kind of my guiding force of wanting to go fuck River Phoenix's bones, which of course I never did because, again, he was cremated. I probably would have tried to do it at some point if he wasn't.
Yeah, that's the only reason why you didn't do it, because he was cremated. What's your favorite River Phoenix movie?
Stand By Me.
It is, okay.
It's not even a question.
I think maybe it's because we were recently talking about Triangle of Sadness, but I was scrolling it on.
Oh, that's a great! I love that movie so much.
I saw the thumbnail for Stand By Me. I just watched it last week, just out of nowhere. So that movie holds up.
It does.
That is the the great American novel for young adolescent boys. That it's got it all. If you were a kid and you wanted to put on a backpack and go hiking in the woods with your friends, that is, if you want to know what it's like to be a kid that age, that's the movie to watch. It's incredible.
I have never seen a movie as many times as I have seen Stand By Me. I have probably seen Stand By Me over 200 times at this point in my life. I absolutely adore that movie. I think it's outstanding. That is the way to talk about a coming of age story. And so again, with my little fake Cayley fucking River Phoenix's Bones documentary, I kind of wanted to make it in that vein. I wanted it to be a coming of age story of me understanding and exploring sexuality as a burgeoning woman and understanding where the obsession exists from behind all of our own sexualities. It was more intellectual than I make it sound when I talk about just putting River Phoenix's thigh bone into my vagina. It's fine. Everything's fine. Everything's great. We should talk about, let me segue into something else so that we
I
never
can't
have
wait to
talk about
clip this
ever again.
episode.
I'm so upset about everything that's happening right now.
Vagina tubes, thigh bones going into vaginas.
It's just great. It's so great. I've said so many wonderful words this evening.
I'm not your friend anymore, am I?
No, you are. You are. Please. You just introduced us all to this wonderful story of Carl Tanzler. This was a wonderful episode. Thank you so much, Luigi, for putting all of this together. And we need to talk a little bit about what we're going to be doing next week, because we have a few options. I am going to be presenting. So our first episode of Edge Files was presented by Month. I know what.
Next month.
Thank you.
Next month.
Yes, next
yeah.
month.
I was wondering. I was like, what are we doing?
Yeah, no, just keep saying the words
I feel
to
like it
correct
took
me.
forever to get to episode 2, but
Listen, I got a little distracted because I was thinking about River Phoenix. I didn't remember what time.
time
Do you
stood
need-
still.
worked.
You need some time. You need some time to cool down.
Yeah, I do a little bit. Also, I think that I see this correctly. Can somebody?
Kaylee's vibrator gummy.
Uh-oh. Pony Power 2 is making a new creation.
Oh no! Wait. Yes,
Yeah.
I'm in, baby. Okay, we need to talk a little bit about what we're going to be doing next month. I almost said week again. We are going to be doing Edge Files episodes once a month. It is always going to be on the last Monday of every month, probably around 7 p.m. But I have a couple of different options. I'm going to be bringing our next topic, and I'm curious about what you guys might be interested in seeing. So I'm going to give y'all a couple of different ideas. One of the things I was thinking might be kind of fun to talk about would be the perils of being an amputee, which there are many, or also wanting to become an amputee. There are many stories of people who have been amputees, or who have wanted to be amputees, that have done things like thrown themselves in front of a train in order to get amputated, which does not always work out quite so well. Or we could potentially do stuff like haunted architecture, things like the Winchester Mystery House. Or
Maybe we could throw it on X. We could do a survey on X.
Yeah,
something like
yeah.
that.
That's
if
good.
you guys
Like
if you
and
guys have any
subscribe.
other if you have any other topics, also you can find us on X. It's Edge Files. The first E is a 3. So go follow us over there. We have had such a blast with you guys tonight. I did a horrible job of giving you ideas of things that we were going to talk about. Everything's. I got distracted by the PP.
Why don't you go take care of it? Clear your head. Come back.
Before we go, Luigi, thank you again so much for presenting this week. Will you please tell everybody where everybody can find you, what they have that is exciting to look forward to?
Well, I'm now going to have an entire channel devoted to River Phoenix and getting Cayley flustered and hypnotizing her to do my bidding.
It's working.
LuigiGreenberg.com, Luigi Greenberg on YouTube. Please check out Friday's episode of Skeptical Robot, in which Cayley and Andy were there, and we discussed the insane story of Jim and Tammy Faye Baker. This Friday, we're going to be discussing the another insane story about Bob Lazar with special guest Carl Hamburger. And please also check me out on Hack Ride Studios channel on Sundays doing unboxing Eric, the actor, and then on Thursdays doing unboxing Riley Martin and switching out with unboxing Bigfoot It Is.
Yeah.
Oh, and Papa_Electrico on X.
Yes.
Oh, we got a couple more super chats.
Yes, before we let Andy talk, because I'm pretty sure this one is from Tony from Hack the Movies, which means it's probably trying to embarrass me. If one of you could read that.
Yeah. Late to the stream. Heard you talking about Stand By Me. Anyone here a fan of River Phoenix?
No. Tell me more about this River Phoenix. Also, can you spell Phoenix, Tony? I'm not even wearing my glasses, and I can see that that's spelled wrong.
I think he meant to say penis. What was, I mean, I get that he had model good looks, but I mean, what else was there about him that was, I mean, you
sincerely
sincerely seemed like on another level of consciousness when we mentioned his name.
He had this band. It was called the Lika's Attic. It's really hard to find recordings of them, but I have some. Also, his sister re-recorded some of the stuff that's really stupid. This is gonna make me sound like a total fucking. Why? No, we're not doing this. We'll save it for next time. No,
God, I'm
no,
so
Super
intrigued
Chat.
now.
Oh my God, Rumple Trench Coat of Colombo podcast. Thank you for the $5. I did it all for the femur. Cayley at 17. Yes, it's true. It's accurate.
Did you pick up smoking because he smoked and Stand By Me?
No, but I did become a vegan because he was vegan.
You blame Rob Reiner for your smoking habit?
No, but I blame them all for being vegan for too many years. Thank God I eat meat now.
Yeah,
Have I ever told y'all that I was vegan for a year and a half to win a bet?
I was vegan for a surprisingly long time, but one year for my birthday, I asked my best friend if she would be vegan for one day. I was like, it's just really hard. This was back in the day when you just couldn't get vegan food anywhere. So I was like, for one day, for my birthday this year, instead of giving me a birthday present, can you please you're going to be vegan for one day with me. See how hard it is to like find food. So the next day I was like touching base with her. I was like, how did it go? Tell me about what it was like being vegan for a day. She goes, it was really great. For breakfast, I had oatmeal. For lunch, I had chicken noodle soup. For dinner, I had ramen. And I was like, can you back up to what you had for lunch? And she goes, what? Chicken noodle soup. And I was like, Erica, what's the first word in that? She was so proud of herself. She was like, it was so easy being vegan. She had meat for lunch. Anyway.
To distract Cayley, she said, isn't River Phoenix just adorable?
She bought me a giant poster of his one year for my birthday. I still have that giant poster. Andy, please tell us what is exciting and wonderful that is going on over at All Apologies one more time.
Oh, yeah, I would love to. Please go. If you're enjoying this and you're not a subscriber to the All Apologies podcast YouTube channel, it would help me out immensely if you would just go over there and subscribe. That's all I'm asking. But if you want to support that show over on Patreon at bit.ly/stay sorry, we have a wonderful series on Neil Gaiman, who is constantly in the news for
did he do something weird?
It's weird because if
did he have sex with a dead body?
No, but he did use a stick of butter as lube on a woman, and
I've heard
a fuck pig. So
and she was an employee, right?
Oh, right. We don't like that. I forgot. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh no, there's voicemail after voicemail of her saying that she loves him and she did like it, but then a lot of other people are retroactively trying to remove consent from Neil Gaiman. So that's a fun story on our Patreon. But we're doing another episode about Eric July this Wednesday with Tony from Hack the Movies. So please check that out, and please go check out everything Hack the Movies has going on. They just reviewed The Dark Knight. So follow Tony over there.
Yeah. Well, this has been absolutely wonderful. If you want to find me, you can, of course, find me on Once Over with Cayley, Cayley, on YouTube, on Patreon. In addition to that, don't forget to subscribe to the Edge Files on Twitter, on Instagram. Again, it's Edge. The first E is a 3.
No, I think it's the second E. The first E is normal.
I'll also update the links.
Let's put it in the chat.
It's RIVERPHOE.
Yeah.
No, you guys are wonderful. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us tonight. This has been a wonderful joy for all of us. We are really enjoying this new show, and we cannot wait to see you next month. Don't forget in the meantime to subscribe to everybody, and we'll see y'all soon.
Bye.
Bye. It's awesome.